Welcome back to the channel, my friends. This is Decoding with Cody, and in this video, we're going to go over what I believe is the most relevant finding of my whole entire channel. And if you guys haven't watched my content over the last 2 years, you will know, if you have watched my content, you guys will know that I've talked a lot about this cyber pandemic, cyber attack, solar flare, power outage thing, whatever the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab was talking about when he said that the next cyber pandemic would be worse than the COVID pandemic. And Klaus Schwab made that speech on July 8th, I believe, in 2021, where he said that the next pandemic would be a cyber pandemic. And we just had news of a cyber attack just last week that hit the whole world apparently, and it was something to do with the banks. There was also a cyber attack on the EIB bank that provides money for a lot of the European Union countries. But what I'm going to hit on in this video is what you guys see right in front of you. And I'm trying a new way of doing these videos. I'm doing a slideshow, guys, so give me a break here if I'm a little bit slow. I'm still getting used to this new technique I'm doing. But I really wanted to make this clear and able to be understood for even the new people. Now, before I get into this, I want to explain for all the new people what I do here on this channel. Now, on this channel, I use the code of Gematria. Gematria is very simple. You take the letters of words and you give them numerical values based off of their positioning in the alphabet. I use basically these 5 main ciphers here. These are the 4 base ciphers: the ordinal, the reduction, the reverse, and the reverse reduction, and the Latin and the Chaldean. Now, in this decode, I'm mainly going to be just using a few of these base ciphers here at the top, but to just give you guys an idea of what this is. So this is basically the ordinal cipher, where every letter in the alphabet is given a value. A is 1 all the way up to Z, 26. So basically you add these letters up in Blackout. See? Blackout, B is the second letter, L is the 12th letter, A is the first, and so on. And you get 85, all right? In the reverse cipher, all you do is you take each value that normally J is the 10th letter, but in this cipher, anytime you get a double-digit number, you reduce it down. So in this instance, J, that is normally the 10th letter, would be 1 plus 0 equals 1. K is the 11th letter, 1 plus 1 equals 2, and so on. And these reverse ciphers are just the reverse of the first 2 I showed you. So this is reverse ordinal, and this is reverse reduction. And so these are the 4 base ciphers I'm going to be using to show you guys just how crazy the discovery I made is. And I hope you guys will stick around to watch this video, and I will show you the discovery that I made. And it's all based off of this blackout. All right. So let's jump into it, guys. So I was talking to my girlfriend the other day, and this event came into my mind, and I was reminded of this incident that happened on June 3rd, 2022, when a climate protester, ran onto a tennis court at the French Open and was wearing the shirt that says, "We have 1,028 days left." Now, I did a video on this back when it happened, and I connected it to Bill Gates, right? Bill Gates' birthday is on 10/28, October 28th. Now, Bill Gates is currently a climate activist, so I connected it to Bill Gates because I believe it was connected to Bill Gates. However, the other day when I was talking to my girlfriend and this came back to me, I said, I wonder if they really were telling us what's going to happen 1,028 days after June 3rd, 2022. So I went back and I looked, and what I found, guys, was absolutely mind-blowing. And this video is going to take all of my research that I've done on this cyber attack, cyber pandemic, blackout narrative that they've been giving us, and it's going to put it all into the puzzle that I believe this shirt helped me to solve, okay? And I'm going to show you how it all comes together, guys. So this video might be a little bit long, but I hope you guys stick around to watch. So first off, 1028 days after this girl comes onto the court with the shirt with the 1028 days leads us to March 26th, 2025. And March 26th is the 85th day of the year with 280 days remaining. Okay. And this immediately caught my attention because 85 is a huge number when it comes to my blackout decoding that I've been doing. As I told you over here, blackout in a base ordinal cipher of Gematria equals 85. Okay. And exactly 1028 days from this shirt, 1028, leads us to the 85th day of 2025, Wednesday, March 26, 2025. The other thing that caught my attention was that it was 280 days remaining. Now, in Gematria, blackout also equals 28. And in numerology, guys, we would take this 28 and we would drop the 0 and we would get 280 and we would drop the 0 and we would get 28. So these two numbers are both associated with the word blackout, 85 and 28. Okay? Now this Chaldean cipher is a very old cipher, and I often find that it's very accurate. And I personally love this cipher. Okay. So you've got the 28, 280 days remaining on that day, and the 85 day of the year. Another thing that caught my attention was that if you write the date internationally as March 26th, it's 263. Now, 263 is the 56th prime, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. But let's first go over why I believe this girl came on and how this is tied to the number 85. Okay. So the girl who protested was part of the group that's a French group called Last Renovation, a climate protesting group. Okay. Now, this is where it gets crazy, guys. I mean, you type in the name Last Renovation, it equals 85 in reverse. Okay. I told you the 1028 led us to this day, and it's the 85th day of 2025. And the group that she's coming and wearing this shirt for equals 85. Okay. So it's a perfect sync just to start this decode out, but it gets even more crazy as we go through. So just remember the group that she's, protesting for equals 85, and the shirt that she's wearing leads us to the 85th day of 2025. So my next slide, it just continues to get crazier, guys. I told you guys that the date 3/26 of 2025 is the 85th day of the year, and the group is 85, and blackout is 85. Okay, so all the 85s. But what's even more interesting, guys, is that there was a show called 911 The Blackout that aired on September 20th, 2021. And this show aired on the September 20th is the 263rd day of the year. Now, why is that connected, guys? Because 263 is March 26th, just like this day. Okay, and this show was about a blackout, which equals 85. You see, 85th day of the year, blackout 85 is the 263 day. September 20th is the 263rd day of the year. And this is the date, 263, March 3rd, 263. Now, 263, if you type this date out, March 26th, it equals 85, guys. It's the 85th day of the year. And when you type the date out, it equals 85. Again, 263 when this blackout show aired, okay? And the date is 263 and the 85 connection. Now, 911 The Blackout was the 263rd day of the year. March 26th is written 263. 263 is the 56th prime number. 263 is the 56th prime number. So why did they air the show on this date? Well, because it's about a power outage, guys. And power outage, 263 day, is the 56th prime, leading us to power outage, which equals 56 in Gematria. So let me again show you guys how power outage equals 56, just so you guys can see hands-on how this works. Power outage, 56 in reduction cipher. 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 5 plus 9, power. 6 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 7 plus 5. You add all those together, you get 56. And again, guys, 263 is the 56 prime, all right? And this show aired on the 263 day, And the day that this shirt leads us to is the 263. All right. So we're moving right along, guys. And this next part, it continues to get crazier because not only is the Blackout show aired on the 263 day, and not only is March 26 written 263, but March 26, 2025 is exactly 263 weeks after the COVID pandemic was declared on March 11, 2020. Now just think about that, guys. Think about how perfectly that's aligned. It's 263rd day of the 9/11 blackout, 263 weeks after March 11th pandemic declaration is 2/6/3/2025. It's the date encoded. Exactly. It's exactly 263 weeks. Now, if you go from the show, the blackout show on the 263 day, it's 3 years and 26 weeks. Just think about it, guys. The date is encoded perfectly from the COVID pandemic and from the blackout show. Okay. Now, I wrote up here that 2/6/3/2025 is 263 weeks exactly, okay, from the pandemic. And that's the 56 prime number, guys. 56 prime number is 263. Coronavirus, 56. Power outage, 56. Okay, now remember, this day, March 11th, 263 weeks prior to 263 was the declaration of coronavirus, which equals 56. And that leads us to this next day, 263 weeks later, the 56 prime, and you have a power outage that I'm thinking is definitely possible. All right. And I'm thinking like a global power outage or something close to a global. And maybe it's not even going to be a power outage. Maybe it's going to be just another big event, another virus or something. But what I'm saying is that this seems to be the most likely clue that this is giving me. All right. Next slide. 9/11, the blackout, the show, featured the song by the Rolling Stones, the Rolling Stones called "Paint It Black." Okay, here's the proof, guys. The Blackout Emergency will span the first 3 seasons, and "Paint It Black" is used in the trailer of this series, the show. Okay, "Paint It Black" was the album, coming off the album Aftermath by the Rolling Stones. Came out in 1966. Notice that the word aftermath is a direct match to power outage in 2 ciphers. Aftermath, power outage. Okay, and again, the song on that album was "Paint It Black," which they used for this blackout show. Okay, now 2/6/3/2025 is exactly 46 weeks after the 58th anniversary. Now 58 is the reverse 85. I already told you all about the 85s. So it's 46 weeks after the 58th anniversary of "Paint It Black," which would be on 5/7/2024. Now 46 is "Paint It Black" in Gematria. So it's 46 weeks, 46 weeks after the anniversary of "Paint It Black," and "Paint It Black" equals 46. All right. May 7th would be the anniversary. 46 weeks later is this day I've been talking about, March 26th. And "Paint It Black," 46. Now, there was a singer who I've talked a lot about in my other videos named Sierra, who did a cover of the song "Paint It Black" in 2015. She's the wife of Denver Broncos quarterback Russell Carrington Wilson. Okay, now this should catch your eye. The biggest blackout, solar storm blackout in recorded history was in 1859 called the Carrington event. Now this was caused by the sun, they say, and it was a huge blackout, guys. And it was called the Carrington event. And this guy, whose wife sang "Paint It Black," which they used for a blackout show, his wife sang that song, and his middle name just happens to be Carrington, which ties to the biggest blackout from the solar storm in history, the Carrington event. And just notice, guys, Carrington, Russell Wilson's middle name, equals 56, just like power outage, just like the other 56 I just showed you. Okay, just like the day, March 26th, is 2/6/3, the 56 prime. And it also has a match in 2 ciphers to power outage. So if you don't think that this couple is completely scripted with power outage symbolism, I don't see how you can't see that. All right, because again, his middle name is Carrington. It equals 56 and 151 like power outage, connected to the biggest solar storm blackout in history. And his wife just happened to sing a song, Paint It Black, that was used in a show called 911 The Blackout. Okay. Also, Russell Wilson, guys, is born on a perfect day. He's born on 11/29, and now I can't really get into this here, but he's born on the same day as a famous Homeland Security Director, Janet Napolitano, who said in 2013 or something like that, that the next 9/11 or next big event would be a power grid failure in the United States. Okay. And November 29th is her birthday. She said that before she left office. And Russell Wilson, again, shares a birthday with this lady who said that the next event would be a power grid issue. Okay. Now, again, here's the song Paint It Black, as you guys can see, by Sierra, his wife. Here's them together. Obviously, they're both darker skinned, which goes with the blackout narrative. And, again, the Carrington and the date he was born, all perfectly scripted with a power outage ritual. And if that wasn't enough, Russell, again, being born on 11/29, and from his 2024 birthday, before the 3/26/25, it's exactly 3 months and 26 days, guys. So you're telling me, again, I've already showed you how this perfectly scripted 3 months and 26 days after his birthday is 3/26, guys. Okay? 3/26 days after his birthday, the blackout guy's birthday, is 3/26. Okay? Perfect. Scripted in perfectly. Now, it's also 118 days, and his wife sang a song called Paint It Black, which equals 118. Okay, so if you do the months and days, it's perfectly scripted with the day, 3/26 to 3/26. If you do just the days, 118, you get Paint It Black, which is what his wife sang, and the song was used for the show called The Blackout, 118, both. Okay, and 118 days after his birthday, connected to his wife who sang the song. Okay, perfect. Now, Russell Wilson played in what I call the electricity game on October 6th, 2022. Okay, I made a video about this game. I showed how clearly it was tied to an electricity event in the future. I just didn't know how long it was going to take, guys. But I think I found my answer. The game featured Wilson, the guy I just told you about, his Broncos team against the Colts, 2-horse teams. The Broncos lost that game 12-9. Okay, that's going to be big. I'll explain. The Broncos play at EMP Power Field at Mile High, which is EMP in the beginning, which is a reference to an EMP, electromagnetic pulse, at high altitude, which is a big bomb that explodes above in the atmosphere and causes a blackout. Okay, but it's an EMP at high altitude. The Broncos played at Empower Field at Mile High altitude. Okay, perfectly scripted to go with an EMP. Now, this EMP would knock out the power. In this game, the big number here, guys, is the word electricity. Okay, now what gets knocked out when there's an EMP? It's going to be the electricity. All right, electricity equals 129. The game finished with a score of 12-9. All right. In this game, the Colts player named Nyheim Hines, whose name equals 129, as you can see right here, was knocked out. Do you guys understand the symbolism? The player whose name matches electricity in the electricity symbolism field was knocked out, like a power knocked out. Okay? I just want you guys to think about that for a minute. He was knocked out by a guy named Nick Bonito, who just happens to have the 129 as well. So Nick Bonito knocks out Nyheim Hines and electricity, all 129, and the game finished 12-9. Do you see how improbable that is? Impossible. And it gets even crazier. Now here's Nyheim Hines was knocked out with a concussion. But this is where it gets crazy, guys. So I just told you that this game ended 12-9, and all to the two big players involved in this injury both equal 129, like electricity. And this game took place exactly 129 weeks before the date in question, March 26th, 2025. I want you guys again to ask yourself, how is that, a coincidence? 129 was all about this game, guys. This whole game, and the score was 129, the players involved 129, electricity, and it happens to be exactly 129 weeks before this date. Okay? Now it gets crazier. Because in this game, the guy who knocked out Nyheim Hines with a concussion was Nick Bonito. Both their names equaled 129. Bonito wears the number 42. Now, in Gematria, guys, concussion equals 42. So number 42 caused a concussion, which equals 42, okay? And he caused this concussion 900. So I told you guys it was 129 weeks, like the score was 12-9, but it was also 903 days if you do it in the days. And 903 is the 42nd triangular number, guys. 903 was his number, 42. 903 days later, he knocks out the player with a concussion, which equals 42, like his number. And 903 days later is this date, March 26th. 903 is the 42nd triangular number. How improbable, guys. Not only was the 129 encoded perfectly, but the 42, which was the number this guy wore, 903 days is the 42nd triangular number. And it brings us once again to this perfect day, March 26th, 2025. Like, this blew my mind, guys. This is perfectly scripted. And I'm so glad I caught on to this script in this game, because this game's a huge clue. And you can see how perfectly it is scripted. All right. What are the chances that the guy who knocks him out is 42, and he knocks the guy out with a concussion, which equals 42, and exactly 42 triangular number days, 903 is this date, and also it's 129 weeks, like I showed you in the last slide. Perfect, guys. Perfect. Moving on. The other football team that had a big electricity ritual in 2022 was the Philadelphia Eagles, who released a video titled "The Blackout is Commencing," where they debuted their black uniforms on 11/27/2022. The video showed the world going dark. Go watch the video, guys. Just type in "Blackout is Commencing, Philadelphia Eagles." Go click on the video, watch it, and you'll see clearly that it's symbolism, guys. Anyways, from the day that they debuted those uniforms, 11/27/2022 to 3/26/2025 is 850 days, guys. 850, 85. Okay? Just think about this. 850 days later is this day, 3/26, and it's the 85th day of the year, and blackout equals 85. And they debuted the blackout uniforms. Okay? They debuted the blackout uniforms 850 days before the 85th day of the year, which equals 85 if you type it out. Okay? This is absolutely improbable. Absolutely. 850 days. And look, this is the thing, guys. Blackout. And this is 85. And 850 days before 85. It's just absolutely mind-blowing. Okay? This blew my mind too. I mean, honestly, everything connects perfectly to this date. Now, another thing I want to touch on here is there's this thing called the 3 Days of Darkness, guys. And it's a Catholic thing, but it tells of 3 days and 3 nights of intense darkness over the whole earth, against which the only light will come from blessed beeswax candles. Okay? Now, if you type in 3 days of darkness, you're going to get 56. I already told you that power outage equals 56. Russell Wilson's middle name, Carrington, 56. And the day that I'm talking about is 263, which is the 56 prime, guys. Now, 3 days of darkness doesn't just equal 56 like power outage. It also equals 85 like blackout. 85, 3 days of darkness, and blackout, 85. Okay? And again, March 26th equals 85 when you type it out, and it's the 85th day of the year. And the name of the protesters' last renovation equal 85. So again, another perfectly scripted ritual here, guys, with this 3 days of darkness. Will it be 3 days? Because if you guys remember, back in this slide, I showed you that in the 911, the Blackout episode, it says the Blackout Emergency in the show will span the first 3 episodes. 3, guys, like 3 days of darkness. Blackout for 3 days. Okay? And then you come over here back to this slide, guys, and it's a perfect match to that day, which is the 85th day of the year, just like Blackout. Okay. Now, this one blew my mind. Another 85, guys, from this movie, which was about a solar flare that destroys Earth and about a guy who uses codes to predict big events using a girl's time capsule. A lot of you guys probably know this movie, but from that movie release on March 20th, it's called Knowing, March 20th, 2009, to this date in question, March 26th, 2025. Look, guys, it's 585, again with the 85s, guys. All right? Perfect. And look, it's right on the money. No other numbers, just 5, 8, and 5. Again, 85th day of the year, Blackout 85. All the 85s I just showed you. Perfectly scripted, guys. The next one is I talked a lot about the Rolling Stones song Paint It Black, and well, their drummer was named Charlie Watts, and he died on August 24th, 2021. Now get it, guys, his last name was Watts, like electrical wattage, right? Watts. It's an obvious connection, right? His song that he performed and his band, Paint It Black, was used for the 9/11 Blackout show, and he died 1310 days before this date, 326. And what does blackout equal, guys? 131. So you go 1310, you drop the 0, it's 131 from his death. Charlie Watts of the Rolling Stones to this day is 131, and blackout equals 131. Okay? And they used his song for the blackout. Okay? The blackout show. And guys, this isn't even it. I have another video coming with more information. This is the last slide I have right now. But what I'm saying is it's completely scripted. Now, let me just hit on this. The Broncos, I went to Wikipedia and I was looking for people that had the date of birthday of March 26th, since this is the day I'm looking at. And it just blew my mind, guys. I came over here and I found this player who played in the past, played for the Denver Broncos. Russell Wilson plays currently for the Denver Broncos. This player, Von Miller, used to play for the Broncos, and he wore fucking 85. He wore 85, guys, or 58. Okay, it's the reverse of 85. And he was born on the 85th day of the year because he was born on March 26th, which is the 85th day of the year. And just guess what his name equals, guys. Just wait till I show you this. You type in his full name, Vonnie B. Vishon Miller, and you put it in the calculator. Just wait to see what you get. 85, guys. 85. And he wears the number 58, the reverse of 85. He's born on March 26th, the 85th day of the year. And look what it tells us, guys. If you go down to his childhood and what his parents do, look at what his parents do, guys. He was born in Dallas, Texas, and his parents own a power supply business. Power, guys. Like electricity, power supply. Do you see what I mean, guys? He's born on the same day that I've been talking about. He wears the number 58. It's the 85th day of the year. His name equals 85. And it's talking in his bio about his parents owning a power supply. And I'm talking about power outage. Okay? What are the chances of this? There's probably a lot more to find here, to be honest with you guys, but I don't want to make this video too long. I'm just saying, what are the chances that they would put this in here? Why do they even need to say this? Power supply business. Okay? And he's connected to this event because he's born on the same day that I'm expecting this to happen. And remember, guys, the very thing that led us to this all started with this girl coming out with the 128 on her shirt, and 128 days later is this day that I just showed you is connected in so many perfect ways. I know this is a long way off, guys, but at the end of the day, this is information that I cannot ignore. All right? And I really going to be making more and more videos about this, obviously, and I'm sure you guys are going to help me find some other big gems. But this date is certainly the day that I truly think that the world is going to go through a cyber pandemic reset or something. I'm not saying that things aren't going to happen before that, guys. I'm sure there's going to be other things that happen before this date. But I think that this day may be a huge day in whatever world-changing thing they're doing, okay? And if you guys don't understand this, please go back and watch and try to understand how perfectly this is scripted. Perfectly. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching once again. I appreciate all of you guys. I'm glad to be back and really diving into the research again. And this is my most amazing find ever, in my opinion. And I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.